Okay, this is the setup and training video for system, photo booth system number 3. Let's go over the parts you're going to need. First of all, we have this all-in-one touchscreen computer here. We have a bag with 4 aluminum poles in it, which is for the stand. We have the stand base and top right here. This piece of styrofoam has to stay with the stand. There are 4 spigots here on this which fit into the holes on the styrofoam, and there's 4 spigots there. But for transport, you can just put this like this. There are handles here to carry this in. We have this bag here which has pins in it and a hammer. This is for putting together the stand and the poles. There are pins that go through the poles and lock into the spigots. You're also going to have this board, which is what the computer and the printer mount to. There are these clamps which you're going to clamp onto the poles of the stand. And in front of it is the shelf that's going to come down like so to hold the printer. The computer is going to lock in back here. I'll set that up in a second. You're also going to have a box. There'll be more than this, but you'll have a box of props for people to wear. Don't let them take them home. Don't let them walk away from the table with them. They have to stay at the photo booth station. You will be charged for anything that disappears, so please keep an eye on those. We have our utility little crate here with all the stuff you need. You're going to have a photo album with a USB flash drive to put all the pictures in digital format at the end of the event, during the event. As you take pictures, one for the customer, one for the photo album, you're going to slip it into the sleeve and ask people to sign their name and any special comment they want to the guest of honor on the inside of the book. At the end of the evening, give the book and the flash drive inside the book, or hand it to the client. Tell them not to lose this because this is all the digital pictures. Also in the crate, you're going to have 1 to 2 packs of photo paper. When you put them in the printer, always glossy side up. If you do it on the other side, the ink will smear. You also have this little box, which has in it the USB camcorder, or I should say camera, for the system. You're not going to use the built-in camera that's in the computer system because the effect of the chroma key comes out terrible. So we have this little camera here, and it goes inside this plastic bag. The last person didn't wrap it up properly. But this is a little USB camera that opens up like so. When you're done at the end of the evening, fold this up, take the wire, wrap it around the base like so that everything is nice and neat and compact. And then you're going to place this inside this bubble bag, or just wrap the bubble wrap around it. The point is we don't want to smudge or scratch the linens. And then put it back inside the box to protect it. I'll put that over to the side for now. We also have in here a power supply, 2 power supplies. One is for the computer and one is for the LED light panel. The one labeled LED Flex panel is for the light, and it's attached to this power strip, so take the whole power strip out. So you have your LED light panel, which is going to plug into the light. You have another power strip, which is for the computer, and it's labeled Lenovo AOI, all-in-one computer. And there is a power plug that goes to the computer, which is here. One of these plugs. This is the power plug for the printer. And this is the power plug for the tablet, to charge the tablet. That's going to be for our kiosk system, where they select their backgrounds. And this is the plug for the computer. And the other end of it is tangled up here. Okay. This end goes to the computer. This end goes to a power plug, which is plugged in here. Here we go. So this is just going to plug in here, like so. So that's the power. You also have, which is going to plug into the back of the computer, a USB 3 hub, and you're going to plug in the flash drive, the printer, and the USB camera into this USB hub to power them up and connect them to the computer. And then finally, you have a 25-foot extension cord. You also have a printer right there, and a green screen, which you could see in the other videos, and a LED light panel, which you'll see in the other videos, and show you how to set that up. Right now, let's set up the base and the poles for system number 3, which is the only thing that's really different from the other 2 videos of systems 1 and 2. So you're going to take your top off, take your styrofoam off, put that to the side. You're going to set up your base. The bag has zippers on each end for the poles, so grab the end and unzip this. Take out your poles one at a time. And when you're setting up the poles, let's see if we can get a close shot of this. If you look at the end of the poles here where they connect to the spigots, is this showing up in frame? Mm-hmm. One hole is bigger and the other hole is narrow. And the reason that is when you're assembling this with the pins themselves are tapered, as you can see here. So there's a fat end and a skinny end. So the fat end, you're going to insert it from the large hole first. So it goes through like that. If you do it the other way, it will not make it all the way through the pipe. It'll stop and you won't be able to lock this in place, and you need to have this locked securely in place. So as you can see there, it won't go any further than that. Once you get your pin through, lock it in with your cotter pin. So let's set that up right now. Big hole on the outside. Now you're also going to notice there are 4 poles. 2 of the poles have tape on them, 2 of them do not. The ones without the tape go on the back of the system. The ones with the tape go to the front. In other words, the front. If the screen is over there where the camera is, are you seeing me? I think we need to turn that a little bit. Yeah. The green screen will be there. The system is here. The people are right in the middle between the screen and there. So the poles with the black tape on it face forward. And here's one of those poles with black tape. So we're going to put that right there. And you want the tape to be, it's a little below the middle, so the tape is going to go to the low end. If I had it like this, the tape would be higher. We want the tape lower because that's marking where we're putting our clamps. And the final pole, clamps on the mounting bracket, that is. So I've got that in place. Oops, it's upside down. And then our bracket here, our brackets are going to mount on this, but we're going to line up the bottom of the bracket with the tape. So the tape is going to be right underneath the bracket right here. Not on the top of it, but underneath it. But we still got to finish setting up our top here, so we grab our top plate and just line up the holes with the spigots. They have to go all in at the same time. You can't put in 1 or 2 at a time because then the other ones won't match up. And it's a little bit of a trick to get it in place, but there we go. So now they're all in, and now I'm going to grab my pins, 1 at a time. I'm going to make sure that I have the large hole facing out, put my pin through, grab my cotter pin, and if you need to, you have a hammer, you can smack this in a little bit so that the hole on the other side comes through. You want this locked in pretty tight, but don't hammer it like crazy because then you're going to have a hard time getting it out at the end of the night. So, we're going to do all 4 pins up top, and then another 4 pins on the bottom for a total of 8. Put the pins in with the cotter pin, give it a little tap, so this way it's nice and tight. I'm not going to do them all now just to save time in the video. Once this is set, now we take our board here.
And the bottom has to be pinned too, right?
Yes, the bottom 4 have to be pinned and the top 4 have to be pinned. So now we're going to take our brackets, we're going to open this up, like so, with the forked part of the clamps on the outside. We want to make sure that they're universal, that they're symmetrical with each other. And now I'm going to put the tape, I'm going to line up the top of the tape with the bottom of this clamp. Excuse me, with the bottom of believe it's this clip. Let's see. If it was the, yeah, with the bottom of the top clip, because otherwise it will be too high. So we're going to line this up right here. And you're going to, once you get it roughly in place, you're going to close your clamp. You're going to put on your wing nut. Tighten the first one down. Get it so it's right at the top of the tape. Get your other clamp closed. Wing nut on. Okay, I'm not going to do the two bottom just to save time, so we've got that set. But you need to lock all four for stability. Then we bring down our shelf, and the printer is going to go on the shelf. The power plug for the printer is in here, and also in the printer there will be a spare power plug and a USB cable. That's going to be to plug the printer into the computer. When you transport these printers, there is a continuous ink system on these. You cannot tilt it this way or tilt it this way. If you tilt it this way in the car, the ink will run through these tubes and flood the whole ink compartment and make a mess and ruin the printer. If you do it the other way, it will drain out of the cartridges, air will get in there, will have no ink. So these have to sit level in the car. Open up the flap on the front door once you get it on the shelf. Open up the flap on the back door. The paper installs right here, glossy side up. So we're going to put the printer on our shelf. We're going to get our outlet strip, and you can hook up the extension cord to this and go to a wall outlet. I won't do that now because you get the idea, but this is going to go back here with your power supplies and your power cord for the printer. Try to put this behind the pole so everything looks nice and neat. The power input for the printer is in the back of the printer, right in the middle. There's a little recessed area of plastic, like a little indentation where the power socket is, so that goes there. And then the USB cable goes to this side where the ink is, and you'll see a USB port back there. So you're going to plug that in like so. And you're going to put the wires again in the middle of the truss so that they don't show. Now the last thing we're going to put on is our computer. And the computer, if you notice, has a little leg or a stand in the back of it. That's going to go right on top of the wood, like so. So you're going to put this down, just like that. So now the leg is holding on the back of the wood, and this is not going to go anywhere. It sits perfectly.
Michael, that looks extremely low.
It does look a little low. And I believe I did this wrong. The pole should be flipped the other way around so the tape is higher, my mistake. Once this is set up, the next thing we need to do is hook up our camera. Again, we have that in our box here, wrapped in the bubble wrap to protect the lens. Unravel the cord. We're going to open up the leg on this. There's a little leg or a stand, a little foot. We're going to put that approximately in the center. And you'll see there's a little camera right there. You want to kind of line this camera up with the other one and seat the foot of the camera in the back against the computer so this way it holds nice and stable. And then we need our USB 3 port right here. And we're going to connect that on the side, on this side. You'll see there's a USB port already with a white USB dongle in it for the wireless mouse and keyboard. And your USB cable is going to go into the open port right there. And now that's all set up, and now we're going to plug our camera in. And we're also going to plug in our printer USB cable right here. And I'm not going to do it right now, just again because it's obvious, but we're going to grab our USB flash drive from the photo album and plug that in, so at the end of the evening you can transfer all the pictures that are located in My Documents Spark Booth and copy them onto the drive. We're going to put the drive in the back, just hanging through the stand of the computer, so again it keeps everything nice and neat. So now that's all hooked up. The last thing you're going to do is, you can see in the other videos, of videos 1 and 2, how to set up the LED light panel, which I'll show you real quick. We have one here. This is the LED light panel that you're going to use. It always goes with the wire hanging down. That's your control panel. This is the mounting bracket. It's on a swivel arm which unfolds, and this silver piece opens up into an X. You can see that in the other video. But you're going to basically open this up and clamp it on the pole here and get it so that the screen is not blocking here. It might have to sit a little bit behind us actually, but it'll be something like this. And you want to angle this up towards the ceiling if you can, so you get a little bounce. If you have a white ceiling, you might have to play around with the light for the green screen effect. So once that is all set up and you power everything on, you're ready to go. Now to take it all apart, we're going to do the opposite. Once we've made our disc for the client with the USB flash drive with all the pictures in it, you're going to unplug that, put it in the photo album. You're going to power down the computer just by going to start, turn off computer. You're going to power down your printer, pack up your paper. And by the way, your paper, when you set this up, set the printer to the side like so. Put about 20 sheets of paper in the printer and put your spare paper here so you have a constant supply. When you're all done, we're just going to do the opposite of everything we did. We're going to disconnect the printer after powering it off, unplug the USB cable. Be careful with these hoses that they don't catch on the shelf or anything, because if they rip out, ink is going to be all over the place and make a mess, and this thing stains. It does not come out easily. We're going to flip our shelf up. There's Velcro here to hold it together. We're going to disconnect our computer power supply, which I didn't plug in the first place because this runs on battery, but it won't make a full gig. So unplug your power, unplug your USB cable. From the USB hub, unplug the printer cable and the camera. Put your hub back in the crate. Take the camera off. Fold its stand and leg up. Wrap the cable nice and neat around the stand. Wrap the front lens in bubble wrap, which is in that little box to protect the lens. Put the camera back in the box and put the box back in the crate. Carefully with two hands, lift the computer after you power it down and turn it off. And again, you see the leg there, that just goes right into the wood. And until I make a case for this, if you're transporting this computer, put it in your front seat, screen down up against your cushioned chair or something soft so that this doesn't get broken or scratched. Then we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, loosen up all of our brackets, open up the wing nuts. You can slide this down to the ground just to help you with the weight. Open up the brackets. Now this is ready for transport. Get your hammer. Take out the cotter pin, which is holding the pin in place. Put it back in the bag. Get your hammer from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once your pins are out, on the top, take out your cotter pins, 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock the pins out. Put them in the hammer back in the case. Take off your top. Put it aside. Get your bag, your poles, and one by one put them back in the bag. Oh yes, and again.
Maybe you should draw an arrow. Which way?
Yes, I'll put a little arrow on this, but this should be, the tape should be the higher end.
Yeah, just draw an arrow with a
Like
marker.
so. So I'll
Yeah.
put this up, this end up. And then just put these back in your bag, all 4 of them. Zipper the bag. And then one final note, when you're transporting this, if you're using one of our vehicles, always put the bases on the bottom of your car, station wagon, SUV, van, whatever you have. Put that on the bottom, put everything else on top. Never lay it on the side because it's going to scratch up the side inside of the vehicle. And we don't want to scratch things up. So the first thing to go in is the base. The last thing to come out will be the base, because everything else will be on top of it. And again, for detailed instructions on operation of the software, of the tablet for finding all the different green screen backgrounds, for troubleshooting the printer, and for operating the program we use for the photo booth, Spark Booth 4, see photo booth videos 1 and 2. Thank you.